On today's episode of The Bold and the Beautiful, the moment we've all been waiting for has finally arrived. Sup, fool? Is Thomas right? Did you manipulate Steffi's paternity results to keep my woman trapped in the landfill for another 18 years? Tell me the truth before I break your face! Hey soapmates, welcome back. It's Wednesday, March 10th, 2021, and you're not gonna believe this, but it is time for another bold and beautiful episode recap. I'm your host, Keisha Chantal, and if you're new here and love to cackle with glee over your favorite soap operas, then you're in luck, because that is what this channel is all about. So consider supporting me by clicking subscribe, giving me a thumbs up, and dropping me a comment, because I love to get better acquainted with you. Okay, let's get this hot mess express out the station. Our first stop, Hope's little sad shack, where Brooke is dropping off some food and very little guidance about how her daughter can free herself from the misery that is Liam Spencer. Then we're going to choo-choo on down to Forrester's to shake our head at Steffi's selfishness. And finally, Vinny's day of reckoning has arrived. So make sure you take the train all the way to the final destination, City Hospital, Beatdown Junction. All aboard! Well, it's another day of mediocrity for hopeless Spencer. And with Donna off with the kids again, she's had ample time to pace the four dark corners of her little box and look at all the diplomas that she's earned from Clown College. What's surprising, though, is that in all her soul-searching, Hope tells Brooke that life in Liam's landfill has forced her to face some harsh realities, like the fact that she thought her life was one way, when really it was another. Indeed, how astute of you, Hope. Brooke tells her, it's hard to navigate. It's not like there's some playbook on how to deal with your husband having a child with another woman. Hope doesn't need a playbook. She's got the facts, and the facts clearly state waffling, excuses, and foolery. So what's the struggle? Brooke and Hope sit down, and Brooke tells her there's no right or wrong way on how to go about this. But what's really important is that she keeps talking to the hefty bag that is constantly disrespecting her with his penis, or they won't be able to heal. Hope tells her that she can't even begin to describe how this feels for her, because every time her thoughts go there, she immediately starts to think about Liam and Steffi having sex and that was close. What was I saying? Oh, yes. She has these thoughts, and then she immediately just shuts down and feels sick inside. Well, that is definitely something that we all can relate to. Am I right, soapmates? Brooke then asks if the waffle man knows how much she's struggling, and Hope says, yeah, but he doesn't really get what it's like to be in my shoes. Here's an idea. Go talk to Steffi if you need first-hand experience on what it's like when another woman is pregnant with your man's baby. Here's Hope back in July 2018 getting all up in Steffi's face and telling her that she believes that her precious waffle really is meant to be with her, even though he was living with Steffi at the time. Hope was also pregnant with Beth, and she goes on to tell Steffi that, hey, I am not going to give up. I believe that Liam should be with me, in my house, under my roof, with Beth, as a family, spending the rest of our days together. How's that working out for you, Hope? So Hope acknowledges all this grief, and then Brooke chimes in with, it's possible, Hope, to rebuild your relationship. Look at me and Rich. How about no? How about we not look at you and Rich? Nobody is looking at that template and thinking, now there is something that I would like to emulate. That is the pinnacle of how relationships should be. Absolutely not. Brooke, your daughter is obviously suffering. And instead of advising her to shred her clown college diplomas, you're telling her to keep taking classes? My God, you are the literal worst. Or, as Queen Stephanie used to call you, the slut of the valley. As the two go on to talk further, Hope then begins to reflect on all the things that she should be grateful for. Healthy children, a thriving career, and a husband that truly loves her, but will cheat on her whenever he feels like it. How lucky. I'm just kidding. You are absolutely the envy of no one, sis. This obviously leads her to ask the question why. Why would Liam ping pong so easily from her bed right into Steffi's with such agility and ease? And then she turns to Brooke and says, "Were there cracks in our marriage that I didn't see?" Honey, the only cracks in your marriage is waffle crack. And you've been hitting that pipe for years. Say no to waffle crack, Hope. Leave the drugs alone and seek help. Reclaim your time by calling this number, 1-800-F-WAFFLE. Our qualified staff is standing by, ready to extend a helping hand to pull you out of the garbage. For a limited time, we're offering lessons in self-love and meditations on avoiding trash men. So don't waste another minute of your life marinating in mediocrity when you can be getting a full night's rest, securing the bag, and living life to the fullest. Call now. How long has it been since Steffi has been going back and forth between, "This baby is a blessing, no matter who the father is." Oh my God, another baby with Liam? Oh my God, why? Oh, it's so amazing. This beautiful life that's growing inside of me. I'm doomed to the landfill for another 18 years. In conclusion, shut up, Steffi. After Steffi is done making our ears bleed with her rinse and repeat dialogue, for some odd reason, she decides to revisit the story of how she met Finn and how they fell in love, as if Ridge and the rest of us hasn't been there for the entire time watching her go through all of it. She gets to the part where she tells Ridge that everything between her and Finn was just going perfectly. And this, of course, leads Ridge to ask, "What kind of perfection makes you sleep with your ex?" Yes, the important questions. Can we get answers? I don't know, maybe not. Steffi tells Ridge that she doesn't know why she decided to pour syrup on Liam that night. To which I say, "You ain't got to lie, Steffi. Own it, sis. Own your waffle addiction. That's the first step to recovery." Steffi then goes on to say that even though Finn has accepted her growing belly, deep down she knows that he's got to be sick over it. Then she hints at something that has been percolating in her feverish brain for some time now. She's come to a decision, and she really hopes that Daddy can support her on it. Are you ready for this? Steffi has come to the conclusion that Finn has no idea what he's getting himself into. So it's up to her to do the thinking for him by setting him free. Just 1 second, guys. I have to go break something. Okay, much better. Now let's get into this. Steffi, ma'am, you really got some hella nerve standing in here talking about you know what's best for another grown-ass man. Now, I've tried to hold my tongue when it comes to you, Miss Thing, but it ends now. You put that man through absolute hell since the day that you met. Adrenaline addiction, opioid addiction, waffle addiction, rehab, and repeated verbal attacks from that crash test dummy that you call an ex-husband. And while Finn was busy trying to figure out what the hell was going on with your brother, you thought that it was a good idea to betray him in the most sickening way possible. Okay, so it took him like what, 5 minutes to freak out over the fact that you were pregnant with another man's baby? But he said what he said. He was going to love you and support you no matter what the scenario. And you are now deciding that it is your right to just go ahead and dump him without even so much as a discussion. Really? I was rooting for you. We were all rooting for you. How dare you? Learn something from this. You were not in this relationship by yourself, Steffy. So stop acting as if it's all about you. Finn deserves better, so do better. Stop running away from your problems and take responsibility for yourself. At last, we have arrived at Vinny's day of reckoning. When last we left off, Thomas used his all-access badge to gain entry into a secure facility, where he promptly began interrogating Vinny about whether or not he had made Liam a father, even though Liam should never be allowed to procreate again. Meanwhile, through a conveniently left open door, Finn approaches and overhears Thomas laying into Vinny. Gathering from their heated argument that the results of Steffi's paternity test are now in question, Finn burst into the room to demand what the hell is going on. Imagine my surprise when it turned out that Liam was the father of Steffi's baby. I've been putting in work for months, spending 2 to 3 nights loving down my woman properly, only to find out in the end that Liam was the one that got her pregnant after only 1 night. It just didn't make sense. But now it does. You messed with the paternity test results, didn't you, Vinny? Vinny, care to weigh in? Vinny playing the victim card with ease. Too bad Finn and Thomas aren't falling for it. Thomas then moves in with a look of murder and rage on his face, saying, "You did it." But before he can get even close to Vinny, Vinny hits him with a jab and sends him down. Finn moves in next, catching Vinny off guard, hits him with a cross jab.
Fight!
And sends him to the floor. The crowd goes wild.
Finish him!
Hold up, Finn. Hold up, Finn. Tap me in. Know what I'm saying? He gonna learn today. Next time he mess with us and mess up our lives, say hello to my little friend. What an ass. Tell the truth, Vinny. Did you mess with the paternity test or not?